Hello, thank you for joining me today. My name is Anthony Truss, and I'm here to present to you computer technology for Block 3 AC days for both red and blue cohorts. The purpose of obviously this introduction to open house is just to kind of show you a little bit of some visuals where otherwise you'd be walking through my lab and I'd be able to show you some physical things and talk to you in person. So I'm going to try to keep it short just because I know that we have a 5-minute limit. And obviously, I won't nearly be able to show you nearly what I want to show you in person. However, hopefully the tabs and videos that I've queued up will kind of give you an indication of what we'll be doing this year. To start out with, you'll see that my Google Classroom is here up on the screen. And the join code would have been here, posted in the beginning of the school year, as well as I've emailed it to everybody to obviously get into the class, as well as an invite link. You as parents can add yourself to the classroom. If you ask your son or daughter to pull up their Google Classroom, under the People tab, you should be able to add yourself under Invite Guardians. I can invite you if you need help or you're having trouble having your son or daughter get to the Google Classroom to get you to add to yourself to the classroom yourself. I can actually send you a private email which will automatically insert you into the classroom. So just reach out and give me an email if you'd like me to do that for you. We also meet on our distance learning week, so obviously alternating red and blue cohorts. So our link is obviously right here in the banner of our classroom. And that's where everyone clicks every time that they need to meet per the class, when I take attendance and so forth. The stream that you see here is not recommended necessarily to keep track of what is due. It's a chronological sequence of what's been said, whether it's an announcement, a student comment, and so forth. And what I recommend parents and students to do is click into my Classwork tab and focus on what needs to be done for the week. So week 1, we focused on a technology survey. We answered a couple questions as to what a computer is and so forth. And we reviewed guidelines of student success, which I want to pull up. And then also ask them to acknowledge that they've discussed this with parents. There's really no physical way of me checking like in the past where I've had signed documents returned back to me. At this point, it's a Google form where you just check acknowledged, yes, and then submit, and then I can have it obviously verify. This is the honor system. So just to clarify a couple of the points that I wanted to make with the clarification of acknowledging with parents. Once this loads, is the specific 0 grading policy that I have when it comes to turning in missing work. When I post an assignment, I put a due date specifically listed here, as you can see on the right-hand column. Obviously, I'm a little bit more flexible this year than I have been in the past, so if a student were to turn it in a day or two late, typically with the course load that I have, I'm not going to be waiting for that to be instantly turned in and grading it the minute that it's due. There will be several days after it's due that I get an opportunity to grade it. So there's that buffer that's going to be provided as an added benefit. But once I get to that assignment and start grading it, once again, it'll be several days after it's already been due. I expect it to be there, and if it's not, obviously I'm going to put a grade in that reflects what it is, whether it's there or not. So if it's not, I'm going to put in a temporary 0 and mark it missing, late, and incomplete, which obviously will modify the averages, of course. With the power of 0, it's rather punishing. This is temporary, just to, once again, have somebody notice that the grade average has changed from, let's say, an A to a B, or a B minus to a C plus, or an A to a A minus, or so forth. You as a parent would probably see that in the summary, which then you'll click and figure out what the breakdown is and what caused that drop. Typically, that's when work gets turned in, if they are 0s, and they could be honest mistakes of just forgetting to submit it, and so forth. But I want you to know that it is a temporary 0 where I actually will replace it, of course, so as long as it's not turned in on the last day of the quarter where I don't have time to grade it. A lot of these assignments require time, and if everyone were to turn in their work on the last day of the quarter, it's not tractable for me to actually grade them. So if you do see a 0, please know that I can replace the grade, and I will. Typically, I give priority to on-time work first. I have about 125 students collectively, and I want to give, obviously, those students who turn their work in first on time the courtesy to give them back their grades as quick as possible. If it's late and it was a 0 and it's been turned in, there's going to be a latency between when I actually update that grade after it's been turned in, just once again based on priority. But please know that if it's been uploaded or turned into me, I will get to that grade. It just obviously takes me a little bit of time to do so. And just please don't wait until the last minute to do so, because obviously there's a factor of time here. Other than that, the intent of this course is to be focusing on computer hardware, computer technology, not just PC or laptop, but also many other peripherals and so forth, cellular devices, gaming devices, and many other aspects of the application of computer technology and how it affects our world and how it impacts our world. I want to kind of give you a couple previews of what some of the hardware looks like when we'll be working with it. Obviously, we're first going to learn how to build a PC, a desktop PC, and install operating systems. Understand like what a motherboard is, a processor, what is random access memory or volatile memory, what's the difference between a solid-state drive and a mechanical drive, M.2 protocols, and so forth. When it comes to storage, the differences, the speeds. We'll get a chance to practice some, mathematical concepts that they've learned in their academic classes here in this class, in this context. Technical communication and following directions is critical. Understanding the miniaturization of hardware and where obviously we've come from in the past. Fixing legacy hardware, even down to like gaming systems and things like that. And then obviously traditional, like I said, PC building. Old legacy machines and modern machines, as you can see here, that we'll get an opportunity to do some hands-on once I receive some guidance from the state in terms of COVID guidelines and stuff, so I can make sure that everyone is safe in the classroom. So it's going to be a really fun year. Hopefully we can get some hands-on activities with safe guidelines presented to us. And by the end of the year, your son or daughter will be able to build a PC, install operating systems, repair existing machines, even Mac iOS and Mac devices or Apple devices, down to miniaturized cellular devices, handheld gaming, as well as game consoles, and hopefully be able to set up a network, understand what local area networks are, wide area networks, gateways, routers, IP addresses, version 4, version 6, and so forth, and the evolution. We'll be doing some things with Arduino boards. When it comes to small microprocessors and microcontrollers, the Arduino would be the microcontroller, and we'll do some microprocessors such as the Raspberry Pi. What the differences are, they'll get a chance to play with some Python on the Pi, and then they'll be able to do some C++ programming on the Arduino boards, and then understand some basic electronic concepts of ohms and watts and voltages and amperes, I would say, and then Ohm's law, and various applications of understanding like resistor color codes, and obviously general electronic theory. So it's a pretty robust year. It should be fun, and at this point everybody's doing well, and I think in the aspect of what they'll be doing, I think it should be really rewarding and relevant to their experience and life that they're in right now. So if you have any questions, I'll be talking to you in person through a digital means in the next day or two after you've seen this video. And if you have any other questions, you can reach out prior to or ask me then. So it's been a pleasure talking with you this evening right now, and I'll see you soon. Have a great evening.